What's going on? What's happening in the world of sales, business growth? What's in the way of you making sales and growing your business? Jim Vidia here, and with Gain the Edge, and I want to have a conversation with you today about a few things here that are we're seeing just present themselves as problems in the marketplace. This isn't a 3 steps to making more sales, a 5 keys to generating more profit. Now, then this is a conversation. And I have some topics here that I'm going to run through, and I'm just going to share my thoughts on them and ask you some questions and get you see where you're thinking, where you line up. So if you want to know what's really going on in sales game and what is keeping you from growing and scaling exponentially, if you're just looking to make a few more sales, everything we share here will be interesting and useful to you. But we were mostly useful for the person who's thinking about exponential growth, who's thinking about making quality sales, qualified opportunities, growing and scaling and growing your business to the mountaintop, getting exponential results so that we can get you as the founder out of the way of the business, out of the way of chasing leads and sales. We don't want you to be the bottleneck. We want to make sure that you are focused on serving your clients, on building your dream, on stepping into your purpose and your calling. And last I checked, no businesses were designed, nobody I know got into business for the sole purpose of chasing leads and sales. I'm guessing you're not either. Right? So make sure that wherever you are, you give me a thumbs up, a like, a share, a love, whatever it is. Let us know that you're there. And let me know if you're watching live or on the recording. And we'll get rolling. So I would love some engagement with you. And as we get rolling through these, I'm going to start inviting you to come on and ask questions in person, not just in the chat, because I'm a human to human guy. I prefer some engagement. I prefer to be able to see you face to face and talk and roll with you. But in the meantime, we're going to have conversations about things like designing to make money versus hustling to make money. Are you spending your time chasing leads and sales? How much of your time is focused on improving your ability to make sales? If you're doing it at all. Most people are spending their time trying to master the ability to make more sales as a person. And I respect that game. But what we really want you focused on is how do we design your company and your world so that money comes in the door, so that sales happen regularly. Right? We want to be intentionally aligning strategy, structure, process, and people so that it replicates you. And you may be early on in your business, or you may just be cruising a lifestyle business and you're fine. You're making some good money and you don't have to pay anybody. You don't have any team. You don't have anything to worry about, which is fantastic. Right? It's a great place to be until you don't want to be there anymore. Usually the problem is where we come into play is I see people all the time that they're fine until they're not. Right? They're going like, yeah, I love my business, I'm going. But then all of a sudden you wanted to take a week off, a month off. And you can't because you don't have team, process, system, structure designed to be able to grow your company while you're not present. Right? That's the stuff we got to be thinking about. At some point, you're going to want to hire somebody. At some point, you're going to want to bring somebody on. And listen to me. We see this all the time. Literally just happened again just the other day. We have somebody who they want us to be able to help them make more sales, but they think it comes in the form of just throwing a salesperson at the process. And the problem is if you don't have systems, process, structure, strategy, offer stack, lifetime journey, all the things that make it simple and predictable to grow your sales, then it doesn't happen. You don't have the replication. You can't just put a salesperson, a closer, quote unquote, in that process and expect them to do anything. This other company that we were talking with, they didn't want to go through the process of fine tuning everything and making it predictable and effective for a salesperson. We won't put a salesperson in your company if you don't have a way to guarantee that they're going to win. You having a pile of leads does not make a sales system, does not predict any sort of success at any level of sustainability for a salesperson. You expect them to come in and work magic, wave a magic wand over your pile of crappy leads and expect it to work. And you having a conversation with somebody as the founder is not mean the same thing as your company being able to sell somebody into what you do and deliver the outcomes. Right? That's what we want you to be thinking about. So are you the person making all the sales in your process? Type that in the chat. Let me know. Are you the person who makes all the sales or is over trying to recruit and run a sales team? Right? Which part of that is you? And just know that if that is you, you are part of the problem. You're part of the bottleneck, the ceiling, the limit of your growth. And I just, it's not sustainable. It's not going to get you where you want to go. It might be okay for today. And ask yourself this question, only because I have asked it of many and I hear this response often. Have you justified that, if you justified the reality that you were the one making all the sales by saying things like, well, I really love selling. I would never take myself away from the sales process. I would never not be part of it. I would never be that one. I like to sell, right? And I do too. That's a great part of the process. I love being involved in the growth process. But you know what else I've learned? Is that when you can grow your company predictably and produce revenue without compromising the brand that you have worked so hard to maintain, the image you have in the marketplace, we don't want to compromise that in any way. But when that can be assured, when revenue can be in place and your brand can be maintained and elevated and sales can still happen, now take a minute. Would you still want to be involved in the sales? And here's the thing, until you've been there, you can't actually answer that question honestly. However, what we have seen over and over and over, without exception, is that once you can, you move yourself from it. People justify. We say things like, I would never move myself from the sales process because it's my out. It's my excuse. It's my out. It's like, well, I am in the sales process, so if I wanted to move myself out, but I'm still in it, then I must not be adequate. I must not be good enough. You know, we had a very well-known entrepreneur that will remain nameless here, but he took 2 years to decide before he brought us on as a solution for his sales growth. 2 years, because in his mind, as a leader in the industry, of somebody who teaches sales and growth and marketing and all the things he was doing, he felt like if he had to bring in an outside company to grow his company, that he failed. And so he had to reconcile with that for 2 years before he finally realized that was just a false statement, because it just meant that he was leveraging strategies and systems and processes from people who do it better than he does, who do it all the time, who do it consistently, right? And so we understand that as an expert in sales, you understand what it is to have somebody else do it really well, who can think at your speed, move at your speed, and roll. This isn't about me. I want you to be thinking about this for your, in your category, in your lane. What are you doing for people? You got to make sure that you're targeting people who appreciate. You know, we don't always work for clients who don't know how to sell. That's rare, actually. It's the rarest. Most clients who bring us into the process understand sales and are good at sales. Many of them even teach sales. They just don't want to have to do the work of the selling, of sales, of designing the process, right? Are you one of those people that know how to implement a process or a system? You just don't know how to build one? And there's no shame in that. We did that for a long time. I was great at making sales. Cindy was great at running systems. We just weren't great at creating systems until we learned how. And then that became the thing we had to do as the longer we stayed with companies inside of their operation and putting sales teams in place, we started learning that their company was not designed to make money. It was designed to fulfill on a product. Think about your business. You designed it and built it around fulfilling of the product, whether it's painting or an auto shop or a grocery store. Is usually built around getting the solution in front of people, delivering the solution. Very rarely is it designed with, how do I sell this? How do I attract the right person? How to get in front of the right person? Now, it might be something you do later because you learned that you have to. But we have not seen the companies that were designed that way from the beginning, because we start with fulfillment and then we start figuring out how do we sell it. And typically, how do we sell it has something to do with the founder, right? You have your magic that you work that people buy from. And then you expect all your leads in your CRM to also be that, to have that same level of meaning and significance and capability of transfer for a salesperson. And that's just not the case. Hey, there's the rare unicorn closer, quote unquote, who come into your business, close sales, right? I'm real good. I can jump in and make sales happen for you, right? But that doesn't mean that they can come in and deliver a system, unpack a system, implement a system, a process, know how to teach and train other people, know how to replicate your founder magic so that other people can deliver it. That's usually one of the issues, is as a unicorn closer, they're usually not replicatable. They're working their own magic, which may be different than your magic, right? I hope I'm making sense here. I'm kind of ranting a little bit, but I don't want you to have to hustle, and I don't want your team to have to hustle. I want your team to be diligent in implementing a system. Be on brand, on values. A great match. You want to build your system with your values in mind. Build your system and design your system with standards, right? Intuitive breakthroughs to replicate the process. That's what we do when we replicate the founder magic, right? You want to be thinking that stuff through. So the intention of this here, again, these are not the 5 steps to this and the 6 steps to that and the 3 keys to this. I just want to have a conversation with you. I want you to, I'm thinking. So type in the chat. Let me know how this is landing for you. Where is that place? Have you tried and failed at that? Have you tried to replicate yourself and have been unable to? Do not trust that there's somebody out there who can replicate you, right? I used to think that. I used to think, man, if I could just find a sales team that's half as good as me, I'll be happy. The reality is that is an awful solution because half as good as you sucks, and you don't want that. But there are plenty of people who can do what you can do and do it even better. They're just going to do it different. And usually one person by themselves, an individual human being, is not going to be able to replicate you even if they have a better skill set than you, because you have that uniqueness and that in the magic that you provide, the mojo that you deliver. And what we specialize in is designing that with system, process, strategy, and team to be able to replicate so that the company is designed to deliver the founder magic, right? Because if you don't believe that, then you're going to be in a situation where you better just be prepared to be selling all of your wares all of your life, because that's the only option. And I think you already know that that's not true. It just hasn't been able to be done for you. So start thinking about that right now. Make sure that you're documenting everything that you do. Make sure you're really clear about where is the real magic that you provide. Where is the place where you are you're the one that when they step into that role, it just comes out of you. And you know it. And so let's start designing your company, the sales process, so that you only have to step into those specific scenarios. Then ultimately later, even not having to be in those scenarios. Okay? But if you don't see that as part of the future, as part of your projected pathway, then business is going to be different for you for a very long time, because it's always going to depend on you, and that's not a place you want to be. Okay, so let's move that, and let's get you away from the hustle piece. Okay, so here's the next thing I want you to think about. The next topic. It's about, I would call it sales proofing trap, right? The sales proofing trap. What is sales proofing? It's how complex, misaligned processes accidentally prevent revenue generation. When you have disconnected processes, when you've picked up a lead generation strategy from this webinar, this venue, this opportunity, then you've picked up a funnel mapping process from from a vendor, and then you've picked up a qualification process from some mentor guru, then you've picked up a conversion process that you're following from somebody else, and you've customized it and made it your own. Now all of a sudden you've got 5 different pieces of tactical strategy technician that, while all on their own may be great and equally a great part of a different system, of its own system, they were not ever designed to work together. And so now you have a disconnected system that when it breaks, you don't know where to fix it because it's not part of a process. You just have a bunch of freestanding tactical components of your sales process. And it can work because it's better than not having one sometimes, right? But what it typically will highlight is where are all the gaps and where's the brokenness. And the hard part is it's hard to have that brokenness be fixed and repaired because you don't have the full construction and the map and the plan of the entire process. And that is what you need, right? That's actually something that we're working on. We have an event coming up called Building the Mountaintop. And we focus on designing your mountaintop experience, and what this really focuses on is you being able to design what is the mountaintop experience in your world. Like everything I'm talking about today, they've been talking about, is a function of a bigger picture, right? We exist to free companies from the founder problem and the bottleneck. But that's just step one, right? Actually, step one, way before that, is how do we get you earning consistent revenue, predictable revenue, so that you can then start building the other things that will start replicating and replacing you. But the whole focus of that is so that you then have a business that is designed to run without you, to grow without you, to deliver great things without you, without compromising your brand. Right? Because the mountaintop experience in our world is that you have a decommoditized, a class of one decommoditized business that is designed, equipped for you to sell for profit or keep and run for pleasure. Because the most pleasurable business you're ever going to run is the one that doesn't require you to be there to bang on the sales machine every single day. Right? That is what we do. That's the mountaintop experience. There's a whole lot of stops along the way. And your business is no different. You have an end destination. You don't want to be a product in search of a prospect. You want to make sure that what you're delivering is a part of a destination that you know your ideal clients want, and that everything is built to deliver that. And you want to make sure that you're always showing people where the future is. What's the path? What's the journey? What's the next iteration of this? So that they understand that you're world-class at this because you know how to do that, right? With us communicating consistently and driving people towards being able to have a company that is exitable, a company that is designed to generate revenue by intention and by design instead of by effort and hustle, that we also know how to build sales systems. We know how to build sales teams. We know how to recruit. We know how to train. We know how to run teams. We know how to orchestrate strategy for growth, exponential, right? We know how to do all of these things. And we sell all of these things along the way. We know how to design incredible revenue maps and journeys and plans that will deliver that kind of an outcome, right? All the things that are necessary. And so often we spend our time helping people build offers or design a mountaintop experience or sell premium or recruit teams, optimize for teams, right? Running on all the things that are necessary for running a sales team and training a sales team. We do sprints, we do power hours, we do things with the marketplace and with our clients that we run with sales teams in general, right? We know that activity is what gets results. Activity is also what reveals gaps, right? So you can sit here and teach people things, or you can put people in action. We're in the middle of a 6-week sales first sprint. Right now we have clients that are every single day doing intentional outreach and activities that are focused on generating sales instead of spending all your time building your website and doing all the stuff that you shouldn't be worried about until you have revenue, consistency, proven processes that deliver outcomes that then now require some more resources and also require resources to build. Right? So you now have more tools, more strategies, more systems, more things to implement, but you've got the revenue to generate to cover it. Right? So these are all the things that we do in our business, and yours is no different. Whatever you're doing, whatever one outcome, even if you only think you deliver one core outcome, type in the chat, what is the outcome you think you deliver? And no matter what it is, one thing, I guarantee you that if we look at that and unpack it, that one thing is probably 3 things or 5 things or 15 things. Right? Working with a client today on one of our group advisory sessions, and she was talking about an offer that she's building a website, an app, and increasing their social media following and follower count and ad spend. That's not 3 things. That's like 50 things. Right? So we were talking about how to put that proposal together and make the offer work. But you're not just offering those 3 things. You're offering, to build this app. there's a, there's 100 steps, right? To dial in their social media following, increase their follower count, and improve a monetized strategy and structure. There's 20 steps, if not 100, depending on what you're looking to implement. So you need to think about that in all of the things that you deliver. How can those be broken up into processes and steps so that you can offer something that will move people forward, solve a specific problem for them, and then deliver them into the next phase of problem solving. And so that's just like in here right now, everything I've been talking about today, the first thing I would tell you is document, document, document. Where are you now? Where do you need to go? There's two layers of this. There's where do you need to be so that you are going to be happy, comfortable, winning, profitable. And then what's the journey you're going to take your clients on so that they can get the outcome they need in a manner that will deliver your freedom and profit and comfort and ability to grow. Right now, it's not science. It's just document. Literally write it down. Just write it down on a piece of paper. This is where I spend most of my time. Writing. I write stuff down. Right? Then you can go in and whiteboard it. Then you can feed it to AI, see what they can do with it. Or you can bring it to our Build Your Mountaintop experience next week, where we will design this for you, know exactly what needs to be in your process and what stages, what questions need to be answered, how you put it together. And then we'll feed it into an AI machine that we have designed to build your mountaintop journey. So it'll take all of your data, all of your offers, all of your journeys, the problems you solve, the solutions you provide, for whom and how, combined with all of the things you don't want to do and don't want your customers doing because it's preventing them from getting the outcome and the result they want. And then it's all trained and put into a prompt and then drove into a machine so that you have a sales mechanism called the selling to the mountaintop and a mountaintop journey so that you can deliver the mountaintop experience and sell that to people in light of just showing up as a product in search of a prospect, because that's not what you want. That's not what anybody wants. Nobody's looking for your product. There's no prospect out there that needs it shoved in their face. There's people who need to be led to a serious result and an experience where they can be in your world buying all of the things you sell over time because you're continuing to solve a problem and reveal a new reality. And we will help you design all of that. So if you're interested in that, ping me. I'm not dropping the link in the chat here. I want you to reach out to me and say, hey, yeah, whatever platform you're seeing this on, reach out, let me know, and just say Mountaintop, and I'll reach out. Our team will reach out. We'll make sure you get set up so that you can join us on this and find out more, or just find out how we can help you to take care of this in general. I want you to be winning, and I'm tired of watching people try to sell a product and not be completely clear on what game you're actually playing and how you're helping people win over time. If you're going to reach out to me to sell me something, show me that you understand where I am, you understand where I'm going. That makes you the expert of knowing how to get there, and then giving me the option to show me that in your method of getting me there is something that's going to be good for me and make it work. Right? That's what this is, and this will we train you on how to sell this, so that you are no longer running around as a product in search of a prospect, which is just like playing whack-a-mole and hoping you're finding the right people. So let's get you sales specific, sales expert. Let's remove the sales proofing trap, because right now you're sales proof, meaning you don't have sales. You're making sales on accident. You're making sales by effort and hustle. And if that's what's happening for you, let's kill that and eliminate it. And if you haven't solved it by now, you're not going to solve it on your own. So reach out. Just start with a conversation. Reach out and let us know how we can help. Let me know what problem, where are you getting stuck when you are trying to get in front of the right people and make the sales and offers. Are you selling to the wrong person? Are you making up offers as you go because you keep finding a different avatar each time you put an offer in front of somebody, but you don't want to say no because you need them to buy from you, because you need them to say yes, right? Those are the things we want to eliminate. Let's start putting you in front of the right people with the right offer at the right time, so you can say the right things to the right people at the right time and make the right offers. And that's what it takes for sales to happen. That's it. Not magic, not crazy hustle, just a design that makes sense. All right? So I'd love to know what your takeaways are on this, and we've got more other topics that we're going to dive into from behind the scenes. We're just going to start breaking stuff down in perspective with some other experts who really understand the game of scales and exponential growth. So we'll be talking about AI tools and systems, teams versus systems, anti-closer perspective, right? The hiring delusion, funnels, human versus technology, all of that stuff. So we're going to dive into all of this and more. And I want to know what you are looking for so we can break that down as a subject as well from through the lens of people who generated hundreds of millions of dollars worth of sales results, who recruited and hired and trained thousands of salespeople and delivered hundreds of launches and live events and campaigns. So we've just seen things at scale that the average person just will never have the opportunity to. And so all that does is it gives us more data, more insight, more real world knowledge to be able to share with you. And that's what we're here for. So thanks for taking the time to check this out. Thanks for trusting me to be part of your success team, and go make some sales. And if you want more help about selling people to the mountaintop and lifetime journeys, just type it in the chat or ping me privately and we'll get you taken care of.